Hi Kevin, Property Soldier here, coming to you from Dubai. And before I go and see the sites, I thought I'd do a quick video on cleaners for your service accommodation business, because the cleaners are fundamental into the smooth running of your business. So when you first meet your prospective cleaners, it's important that you can sense from the outset that you're going to be able to get on and work with your cleaners, because if you have your doubts, you're probably right to have your doubts. So it's really important your cleaners are integral to the smooth running of your business, that you can see eye to eye with them, and they're not acting and saying anything that is causing you concern, because trust your instincts on anything, because you are usually right on this. So when you're speaking to them from the outset, please don't accept that they will be able to do SA cleaning for you unless they are experienced in SA cleaning. If they are just normal domestic cleaners, then that's not the same thing as serviced accommodation cleaning. Domestic cleaning, they might have a set time each week where they do a clean, and that's not the same as service accommodation, where they're working with the same clients over and over. With service accommodation, the cleaning might have to happen at much shorter notice, and there's a lot more moving parts with service accommodation. I'll talk about those shortly. So that's really important, that they have experience of SA cleaning, and if they don't, then you need to decide whether or not you think that they can step up to the plate and do it, because it's a lot of disruption changing cleaners. And so you definitely want to get it right from the outset. And sometimes we've had cleaners in the past that didn't realise what they were taking on and decided that they didn't want to do it anymore, and then you've got to start from scratch. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Now, when you are getting your quotes for your cleaning, there's lots of things that you need your cleaners to do for you in serviced accommodation, and it's definitely important that you get these things covered from the outset, and don't retrospectively start saying to your cleaners, oh, by the way, can you also do X, Y, and Z? Because that's not going to go down too well with your cleaners when they've already quoted. Because they might just say, well, yes, we can, but that will come as extra. When they are quoting for cleans, you need to establish whether or not they're VAT registered or not, and if they're not, are they likely to become VAT registered anytime soon? Because clearly that's going to impact on the overall cost of your cleaning. When they quote for you, they will often say, let's say they said £12 an hour, something like that. Please don't think that that means it's only going to cost £12 to do a clean on a one-bed apartment. Yes, it might only take an hour, but it's not really going to be worth it for your cleaners to travel across town, carry all the stuff up to the property, do the clean, and then travel to their next appointment for 12 quid. So let's face it, most cleaners are going to charge you for 2 hours of cleaning, even though it might only take them an hour, but you can understand why that is. And actually, if you sense that your cleaners are underquoting, it's rare, but if you think that they're not going to be earning enough money with what they're quoting for you, then I would suggest you need to get this sorted from the outset, because again, you don't want to find it out that they decide that they're not earning enough money with you and then just drop you, because again, you have to just start all over. So it's definitely worthwhile paying your cleaners properly for good cleaners. So what are the different things that you need to get your cleaners to do? Really important is they check that the guest key is where it should be. So where are you telling your guests to leave the key? Are they just posting it through the letterbox? Are they putting it back in the key safe box or something like that? Cleaners can immediately have a look to make sure it is there. And it's another important reason why you need to ask your cleaners whether or not they're going to be able to do the cleans, whether they've got the capacity to do the cleans shortly after the guests have checked out. So same day is really important for us, because again, the cleaners can identify whether or not the guests have left the key. Because what you don't want to happen is your next guests turn up and there's no guest key, We do meet and greet as well, and so you don't want it to wait until the meet and greet person, maybe 10-15 minutes before the guests are due to arrive, telling you that there's no guest key because the guests have left with it. So that's a fundamental important thing. And heating, making sure that the heating controls are as they should be. Your guests will inevitably alter the heating controls. Sometimes, I mean, quite a few of our properties, we've got the remote Wi-Fi heating controls, so we can do that, or you can have, you know, your PA or VA do that for you. But other than that, your cleaners can check the heating controls and put them back to how they should be. Bathroom extractors turned on, guests will turn them off, especially if they're too loud or they go on for too long. And so your cleaners can switch them on for you. And whilst we're on that subject, if your extractors are too loud or they go on too long, then you should change that as well, because it's going to annoy guests. And again, if they're getting turned off, then that's going to cause condensation and mold, etc., which is not very nice in your bathrooms, and it costs you money in the long run too, as well as bad reviews potentially. Anything damaged, missing, broken, your cleaners can identify that, and again, it's important that this gets done as soon as the guests have gone, or soon after the guests have gone, because you don't want to be leaving it a day before informing a guest that you're going to need to bill them because something has been damaged. Whilst we mention that, if it's only a small minor item, it's probably not worth billing and potentially getting into an argument with a guest who could leave you a bad review. So if it's only something minor, then we regard that as an operating cost, and we don't bother billing guests on a plate that's broken or a glass that's broken. It's just really not worth it. So which leads me to the inventory, because your cleaners need to be checking that there are enough plates and glasses and cutlery, etc., because they do get broken, they do go missing. People accidentally throw things in the bin when they're doing their cleaning, so washing up, etc. So your cleaners should check that, and if things are missing and need to be replenished, then that can get done prior to your next guests turning up. So that's definitely important. And TV remotes are very, very important, because they get hidden down the side of sofas. Guests leave with them, either intentionally or unintentionally. But your cleaners should always make sure the remote is where it should be, and actually make sure that the language settings are set back to English as well on the remote. And if they're not, then they should be set back to English, because otherwise that's going to cause issues. Minor faults and repairs, again, flagging up those to you so that you can get those sorted out in advance. And also liaising with your laundry company. So your cleaners, there needs to be a one-stop shop with the laundry company and your cleaners. You don't really want to be getting involved in that. So where's the clean getting dropped off, and how is the dirty laundry getting given back to the laundry company? That all needs to be discussed from the outset. So hopefully you found that useful. Again, I can't stress enough how important it is that your cleaning operation runs smoothly for your serviced accommodation business, and you should definitely make sure that all the things that you want your cleaners to do for you are discussed from the outset, so that when they quote, then you know that that is how much your cleaning is going to cost. And I strongly recommend that you always have a fixed rate for your cleans, because you don't want a situation where a cleaner is saying, oh, that took me 3 hours because it was a particularly messy job, and trying to bill you accordingly. Just get a fixed price on your cleans, and 2 hours is a standard for whatever it is their hourly rate is. Hopefully you found that useful, everybody. Comment away if you've got any questions. Give me a like if you found it useful, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me however platform you're watching this on. If you want to see more videos like this, then you know what to do. So remember, everybody, your future needs you, and here's to your success in serviced accommodation.